Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Hopefully you're having a nice Friday and you're not in the direct path of the typhoon that's currently coming towards Japan. We're just getting a bit of wind here in Hiroshima. How about in Kansai there?
Yeah, Kansai is getting rain since last night, and it's just
Oh,
been straight through. It hasn't been super heavy rain, but it's enough to let you know that yeah, there's stuff going on.
yeah. Well, I have Scott with me today. He needs no introduction. He's super popular on his ChillinKansai channel, and you're also doing TeslaQuest Japan since a few months ago. When did you start
Uh,
that?
I started it like just as I got the car, and so like the delivery and stuff is all up on there. But since the quarantine, I haven't really had much time to get out and get some footage. I did go out and take a drive, but I haven't edited the footage yet. So
Yeah. No, well, you do it proper. You have great videos, well edited. So check out his channel if you're interested in more information. And you can see Scott and I are both sporting some interesting hats today. Whoop whoop. So we both did an online Tesla owners enquete or survey, and so they sent us some free hats. So we've got the, can you call it bling? I don't think it's bling,
Yeah,
but
not quite, but it's close.
all right, let's dive right in.
Well,
What I want to ask you some questions and then we'll discuss them because I think we have some similar experiences. We
sure.
we of course are always going back and forth on Twitter
Yep.
about stuff, and you have so much insight. I've discovered some things maybe you don't know, but I think there's a lot you know that I don't know. So hopefully we can discover that in this episode.
Great. Sounds fun.
All right. When you first did the test drive,
Mhm.
when and where was that? Mine was in Tokyo.
I did not do a test drive.
What?
Just bought it. Yep.
No.
Yep. I
You
went
just
in.
you just knew.
Well, I went in and sat. So before the release, Tesla had a car at the Hankyu Men's department store in Osaka, like right near the station. Not the main Hankyu, but like one of their men's department stores things. And so I went and sat in the car, took a bunch of pictures that day. Probably drove a whole bunch of other people away, and just sat in it. It was the American drive. I can't remember which one's right hand and which one's left hand now. Left hand drive. And so I
Oh
sat in the
yeah.
car, and that was it. I'm like, "Yep, no, that's what I need to do right there." And then went down to the Shinsebashi store a couple of weeks after about a month and a half after that, and put the order in. And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I gotta have it."
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I first went to I think it's Ginza store
Hmm.
in Tokyo, and it's in a really cool area. And when I did the test drive, I was so excited and so nervous. And getting out of the car park, like they have it in the back, and he could tell I was nervous. And he's like, "Shall I get it out for you?" And I was like, "Yes, please." I was like, "I don't want to wreck it, you know." And they didn't have the Model 3. They had only the S, but he's
Okay.
he's like basically like very similar car, and I was like, "Really?" You know, but I enjoy driving it so much. But for me, when I first test drove it, the regenerative braking, when you
Mhm.
lay off the accelerator and it brakes when you
Yes.
go off the accelerator, for me that was like, what's wrong? Like, why am I such a horrible driver?
Right. Right. And it took me about a month, and I felt so bad for my passengers that whole time because I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
just shaking back and forth. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I really could drive. I swear to God, I've been doing it for at least 20 years.
I know. And I picked up the car in Osaka and drove it back to Hiroshima. My daughter's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you driving so weird?" Frost 2015, thanks for joining. He says, "Yes, was so cool. I test drove the Model S." Yeah, the Model S. Wild. And when I was driving around, because it was Ginza or Shinjuku or something, I actually saw the Mario Kart crew
Oh,
like
no kidding.
as I was driving around, and I saw all these other like super snazzy cars like Jaguars and everything, and I was like, yeah, I don't care about them.
Yep. Yep.
I'm really excited about this car right
Yep.
here.
Yep. Yeah, it it it's an amazing car to drive. It's but
Yeah.
it is a new learning experience. I think I mentioned last time when we were talking, the first day I had the car, I was making a right hand turn to and trying to beat the light, and I almost wrecked it because I put the pedal all the way down on the floor like you do with a regular car. And that is not how those cars work. If you put the pedal
No.
down, it's going to go right
Oh,
now.
oh, like a rocket. Yeah,
Yeah, I got
that's
super lucky. I didn't hit anybody, and
that's really
yeah,
scary. Hokkaido Hillbilly says we're all gonna have to relearn how to drive when we switch to EVs. That is for sure. But this regenerative braking, I need to say it really helped me because I was so close to empty battery
yeah,
on a trip recently. And I turned off the AC and I was luckily going downhill. And I could tell that the regenerative battery was helping me because it was recharging some of that battery.
yeah. It changes how you consider how you drive,
Yeah.
because there's on the just for people who don't know, just above the where the speedometer the number is, there's a line, and on the right hand side it turns black, and on the left hand side it turns green. Green means that you're putting the juice back in the battery, and so when I drive, and the farther that black line is, that's more power that you're using. And so in order to make your charge last longer, you try to keep the black line as low as you can, and get as much of that green line as often as you can for as much as you can.
Yeah.
And so I drive way different than I did with my gas car. Just trying to keep that power line as low as possible so that I can have as much range as possible.
Yeah, for sure. LKP, thanks for joining. Says hi. Hokkaido Hillbilly says, and you don't purposely run over the Mario Kart kids? No, no. Got to drive safe. You know what's fun about the upgrades?
Mm,
This somebody just asked me yesterday. Isn't it such a hassle because you don't have a dealer near you in Hiroshima? And we have a supercharger in Hiroshima, so I'm super psyched about that. But yeah, we don't have a dealer. But what we do have, which you don't need a dealer because all your upgrades happens over the air. It
yes.
just you get it's like driving a computer, right?
Yeah.
So you get a little notice that says, "Would you like to do your upgrade? You've got new software," and you're like choosing a time or something, right? You
Yep.
can do it overnight so it
Yep.
doesn't bother you while you're driving. And then you have all these new features. It just upgrades the whole thing,
Yeah, and since we've gotten the car, we must have had at least 10 or 12. It's almost every
right?
month where we get something, and they updated the navigation maps right in the middle of like May or
Yeah.
so.
We
And
we used to have that glitchy, like when you were around the cars, it shows you that there's cars around you and it's very specific. Like it'll show you the image of a truck if it's a truck. It'll show you the image of a motorbike if it's a motorbike. But when I first started driving it, everybody was like breakdancing around me.
mhm,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
somebody said, just wait till the upgrade. And then that fixed it. So that
Yes.
was cool.
It's cool, but it's a little too bad because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. But now it like recognizes cones.
Yes. Yep.
It has 6 cameras around the car. So
Is it six?
for parking, if you do Sentry Mode, if you do what is it, Tesla Cam to
Yep.
have it while you're driving,
So the,
this
the dash cam. Yeah, yeah.
really useful. Do you use those? I haven't used that yet.
Just Sentry mode every once in a while, like if I'm worried that the car's going to get hit in that parking lot because people drive poorly in parking lots, or if I'm in a new place, I'll leave Sentry mode on. But Sentry mode, it pulls a little of the juice out of it,
Oh,
so I try
okay.
not to use it too much.
Yeah.
But it is convenient, and so I was going to put together, and I'm going to do it at some point. I have a whole bunch of Sentry mode footage of people coming walking past the car and stuff like that. And the car flashes the lights when they get close.
Oh.
So I want to cut all of that Sentry mode footage together and put a video up. But it's a pain because you
Yeah.
gotta black out people's faces and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. But I would only catch my own family scratching the car.
Yeah.
Because when I park at home, I notice scratches because my family takes their bikes past it, and it's a very tight spot. I have sympathy for that. But yeah, I know
I have
it's
much
my
sympathy
family.
for
It's
it.
not a random person.
Yeah.
Aussie in Japan says the Mario Kart copycat company has closed down. Don't have to worry about them anymore. Wow, is that true? I didn't
Yeah.
realize. Yeah, a lot of
They
tourism products, eh?
it was primarily tourists, and Nintendo was leaning on them super heavy, and so it was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Frost 2015, thanks for commenting, says, wondered when the Model Y will be available for testing. Oh, have you done Shaken as yet? How was it? No Shaken yet. Shaken, I think because it's a new car, we got 3 years, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So 3 years
Um,
stuck in. The road tax was dirt cheap. I
yeah.
went from $600 to 60.
I wonder if that's only the first year.
I think it might be,
Yeah.
but it was such a great, such a great piece on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll renew that legislation and let that continue.
I hope so.
I saw Hokkaido Hillbilly asked about how supercharging is billed, and that one's pretty easy. I have a credit card attached to the Tesla account, and so I just pull in to the supercharger, plug it in, and the car does a handshake with the station. And so the station knows it's my car, and my car has the credit card registered to it. So I don't even pay at the pump. I just put it in, and when it's done, they just send me. They don't even send me a bill. It just shows up on my account. The car tells me how much it cost, and that was it.
Yeah, it's super easy and it's very reasonable. Usually it only takes me 30 minutes to charge 200 Ks and 700 yen. Like compare that to gas prices, right? At the pump. I had a K car, like a really small engine car,
Mm.
and then I was spending maybe 3,000 yen every time I filled up. And
Wow.
so if you have like a sedan style,
Yeah.
you're gonna be paying like a
My
hundred
old
bucks
car,
a
I
time at
never got out
least,
of the gas station for less than 6,000.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was between 6 and 8, depending on what the worst was, like almost 9,000 one time. And that was the other thing. My car was getting old, and I needed a new car, a new to me car at any rate. But weren't any reasonable used Teslas at that point. And
Right.
I could feel something else was getting ready to break, and I'm like, got to get out of the gas.
Yeah.
Got to get out of the gas.
And one more thing about not using gas is we live near a really steep hill. So whenever I go up that hill and I'm pushing the accelerator getting up, when I used to go, I feel bad for people walking
Yeah.
because of all the exhaust coming out of my old car. But now I'm like, there ain't no exhaust. Breathe it in, fresh air. Which is really nice about driving zero emissions, right?
Yep. Definitely.
Uh,
Definitely.
Wheel
Yeah.
Woman, Wheel Woman Cycling, thanks for joining. This just popped up on my feed and we'll need to watch later. I dream of owning a Tesla, but in Australia, they're a crazy price. But it sure beats filling my car with petrol all the time. It really does. And I think a lot of people do an analysis after a year. How much did you save? And
Yeah.
I charge at home, and I know you charge out.
Yes.
So I rarely use superchargers. I'm usually charging at home. And you know what? After a year, looking at my bills, it didn't go up.
Yep.
Not at all. I
Yep.
mean, I have solar panels, so maybe I'm using the solar charge if I charge in the day.
Right.
But seriously, there is no difference in how much I'm paying for electricity. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I'm still using the high speed chargers that are out and available. So I don't use the Tesla superchargers that much, but I do use them. But in my area, there are two free regular high speed Chatamo chargers in my area. One of them is over at a city hall, and that one's completely free. And the other one is over at the Eon Mall, and that one is also completely free. And
Wow.
Eon Mall takes the hit on the electricity because it's not that much.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've got another tip for you in 1 second. I'll just show my home charger.
Mhm.
So the home wall charger, they came and installed it for 20,000 yen, which is less than $200. just electricians who are collaborating with Tesla. It wasn't actually Tesla workers, but they did a great job. I haven't had any problems with it. I heard that you use destination chargers. So I pretty much, it's the same as a wall charger for the home, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't used any of the destination chargers yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Those are the ones at specifically at like hotels and like in Wakayama Adventure World where the pandas are. There's a destination charger there, and I think they're free to use. But they're slow. They're about
Yeah.
not slow, but
Same,
like they're slow
same
enough.
as a whole. You know, so I would need 7 hours to charge up fully if I had an empty battery. And I, just to let you guys know, I have standard range. I didn't pay for the bigger battery. Scott, you've got the longer range, right?
I've got the long range one, so I do have the bigger battery. So yours
So
is 60
my,
watts.
yeah, and my max, I can really only charge until 375 kilometers, not kilograms. And so you're about 500 kilometers, is that right?
Depends on how I drive, but I tend to think about it closer to 425.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's
the
not
thing is,
that
for the
much
way I
more.
drive, I almost never go below 30% anyway on the battery.
Well, I really pushed it recently on that last trip. I had less than 1%. But I was really panicking, right? Because I was like, I am a JAF member. JAF is like Japan Auto Federation, right? And they can come in and help you if you have road trouble. But I was like, are they going to be able to do anything for an electric car? I found out some great information, Scott.
Oh, all right.
Very exciting. I couldn't find anything in Japanese when I was searching. I found on the English JAF page that they have new services for electric vehicles that they will tow you to the nearest charging place, right?
Oh.
Which is awesome. But it gets better. If you go to one of the JAF offices, which they have a few around Japan, they have one in Osaka, they have one in Hiroshima, and if you're a JAF member, which is about 4,000 yen a year, you get free charging, and they have fast charging.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. Awesome,
Well, across the
awesome.
river, I will go get, because I'm not a member, and I'm like, well, why would I?
Yeah, well, it says if you're not a member, you just pay 1,000 yen, which is still very cheap.
Oh, great, yeah.
In Osaka, it's in Nakahozumi, Ibaraki.
Ibaraki, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And Hiroshima is Kogokita. I'm gonna go find it. Nishiku. That's an awesome tip.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, we got some comments. Sorry, guys, I haven't been looking at the comments. Frass says, I want to buy a Tesla soon. I think I heard about a monthly charging fee for the chargers around Japan. Is that true? Yes, we have the Demo expert right here. Scott, tell us all about it.
So the way it's the Tesla chargers don't have a monthly charge. So the supercharging network, it comes with the car, and you.
Oh no. Oh no. You're cutting out, Scott. Sometimes this happens during the typhoon. Oh, you're kind of coming back.
Can't get any cheaper.
Oh, now I
than
can hear you. Okay.
It's amazing. Okay. And then okay, good, it's up. And the NCS system is the semi quasi governmental agency that is in charge of trying to get people to use EVs more. They charge basically 4,200 or 3,800 yen a month for that, plus your charging time at 15 yen or so per minute. So you're looking at 16 or 1,800 yen each time you use the charger for 30 minutes, which is not, the charge time is not horrible, but the fact that you have to pay 3,800 yen a month plus that every time it's kind of a no-go for me.
Yeah. And I was really excited. You saw this on my Twitter. I was really excited because I went to my old Honda dealer and it looked like I could join the Honda plan, which was only like 500 yen a month, and then use the Honda chargers. And I was so excited because They have a great network at every Honda dealer. They've got chargers. And then it turns out, nope, not unless you buy an EV from Honda, which they don't sell.
Yeah, well, Honda just came out with the Honda E. So
Yeah.
I did a bit of a collab with Take TV 100. And because he hadn't been, I was watching his stuff and he's like, I haven't been in a Tesla 3 yet, or Model 3 yet. And I'm like, well, we're going to fix that. And so we went and did a bunch of shooting and stuff like that. And he's got one on order, as much as I understand, and he's going to get one. He rented it, and I set up for the rental on it. So I'm going to go rent one. They have them in Southern Osaka. There's like 2 available.
Yeah, I saw that on. Can you introduce that rent-a-car system? That seems really cool.
Yeah, I forget what the name. I forget what the
What
name of
is
it
it?
is.
I
Though
think I
it's like Honda
screenshotted.
Every Day or something like, or
Honda Every Go.
Yeah, there we go.
Honda Every Go.
Yeah, and it's basically free to set up the account, and then they just charge you for the time in the car. And it's a cute little car, and it looks like it's a really great, look subcompact EV, and it looks great. And then I looked up how much they're charging for these cars, and you can get a Tesla for an extra $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So this tiny little subcompact, the upper model of the Honda one and the lower model of, like the standard range plus, like you have, they're only about $2,000 apart in cost.
What?
You
Yeah.
get, yeah, it doesn't
It
make any
doesn't.
sense.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, that's why I didn't choose the Leaf, because
Right.
I was like, if you're talking about power and amount of, capacity for how far I can go and the price, I'm choosing a Tesla. Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing about the Honda E is the range on it is only about 250 kilometers. So it's not even on par with the Model 3 standard range plus.
Standard. No, not even there.
And the
We'll,
high-end model gets less.
yeah, no, not good enough.
That's-
Wheel Woman says, other downside in Australia is the long distances. We have a government who struggles to see the need for charging points everywhere. Bring on the home use battery for storage at a price we can afford. That's so true. I mean, Japan is a really great place to drive electric cars because there is a great infrastructure here. They say there are more electric charge places than gas stations now.
Gas stations. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Because they can put them at places like Aeon and any of the not any of the supermarkets, but a lot of the supermarket chains have them out there. Family Mart has a tie-up that has the NC. They're all the NCS chargers though, so you're going to be paying for it, but still, even worst case scenario, if you use the visitor stuff and it costs a little bit more, so you're looking at maybe 2,000, maybe 2,500 to use the NCS chargers as a visitor.
right.
Still half the cost of what I would pay in gasoline. So
I'm really looking forward to when they make it easier to pay as you go from those machines, right? Like, why not have a coin place? Why not have a bill slot so you don't have to sign up for these crazy monthly membership fees? I don't get it. It seems like it'd be a no-brainer, right?
all they have to do really is just cut the monthly fee
Yep.
or make the monthly fee reasonable.
Yes.
$40 a month is not reasonable.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sent them a note. I sent them an email, but I never got a response. It was a little angry, but
Yeah. Sorry, LKP says, seen, oh, lots of numbers. What is that? Oh, different kilowatt, different power chargers, cha demo around. Is the
Yes.
price same on all of them under
Yes.
the NCS plan? And you told me something kind of sinister about the NCS.
I don't remember which part.
It's actually run by TEPCO, right?
Oh yeah. TEPCO's the main contributor for that, and I think it was a tie-up with Nissan when they were getting ready to put out the Leaf, and TEPCO's in charge of it. They should not be in charge of anything.
Not a very ethical company.
No.
And the source of TEPCO's power, like Chugoku Denroku, like many of the electric companies, are using mostly coal and oil. So, if you can find a charger that is made from renewables, man, that is what we want for the future, for sure.
Yeah. I don't understand why the power. Well, I do understand why the power companies are fighting it, but getting more solar out to more people, just for a country that doesn't produce a massive amount of oil. There's some oil
Yeah.
production in Japan, but certainly not enough to meet needs.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're not pushing for solar.
No, me neither.
Yes. The deal with the differences in those CHAdeMO chargers, anything that is a CHAdeMO charger technically is a high capacity DC charging. And so AC charging, which is the slow plug-in like Joy has on the for her home charger, those also you can do, and you pay the monthly fee plus 2.5 yen per minute, and there's still a limit of either 30 minutes or an hour, so you're still paying 1,200 yen every time you use that, and that doesn't make any sense.
No, that's expensive. I've
Yeah.
seen some where you can use your ETC card
Yeah.
as instead of a membership card, you use your ETC card. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I'd like to check that out. It still
With the ones
seemed
that,
expensive.
yeah, it still gets pricey because those are treated as visitors.
Right. Yeah.
They come in. So like there's another couple of people that are companies that have tied in with the NCS, and so they sponsor some of the chargers in particular areas. In Kansai, it's Enegate, and so that's why my charger at City Hall doesn't cost me anything,
Right.
because in that system, City Hall is supplementing, and it's not my City Hall, is supplementing the charging costs.
Okay. Fras has a good question. Did you say Eon Mall chargers are free?
They are not all free.
Mm.
It depends on which Eon Mall charger. However, they are a pretty good deal because the ones that do charge only charge like 300 yen for 30 minutes of charge.
And Eon Mall, often they have solar panels on their department stores. So at least a little bit is renewable. So a little bit better. I have an Eon Mall, so I would still need a membership, right, to use
Yeah,
it.
I had to go in and register with the information desk,
Oh, okay.
and then they give you a code to unlock the charger. And so
Okay. I'm going to check
charger,
that out.
yeah, at my charger, there's a slow charger, the regular AC charger, and then the DC fast charger. So there's two spots, and you can use either one. And the Tesla can use either charger. The
Nice.
slow one, you use the one adapter, and the CHAdeMO, you have to use the CHAdeMO adapter.
Okay. Hokkaido has a good question. Some reviews I've read have mentioned that Tesla interiors can be hit or miss. What experience have you guys had with the interior quality in your cars? As someone who tries to be vegan, plant-based as much as possible, I'm pretty psyched that it's vegan. But it seems weird around water and stains easily. So if that bothers you, you might not like it. It's kind of faux leather. It's kind of leather-ish, but obviously it's vegan, so it's not going to be from animals.
Yeah, I think that the feel on like the steering wheel and the seats, I love the feel of it. I think it's great. And if you aren't paying attention or don't pay much attention to leather, and I'm not vegan, I don't care. um, when grabbing the steering wheel, it feels like leather, and but I'm not super sensitive about that stuff. Now,
No, I think it feels good.
yeah, about the other like the build quality on the inside of the car, everything is great. The steering wheel is great. The center console is great. The screen is great. No problem. The mirrors are fantastic. However, the A column, the B column, the one right behind the driver's seat. When I get out, I don't get out of the car right, and so I bump up against it, and it comes away from the pillar a little bit, the inside thing. So every once in a while, I have to pop it back in, and it annoys me to death because that shouldn't happen.
And then have you ever dropped something in the car and it makes like a big clunk and you're like, what? Is that okay? Like I drop a book or something and it sounds like you just hit the outside of the car, like, but you're inside and you're like, what?
I haven't had that, but I do have an AirPod, that fell down between the driver's seat and the console, and then it went under the seat, and there is a spot that the where the carpet overlaps, and now I have a AirPod sitting on top of the battery of that car forever.
Oh dear.
Because
Uh,
I
that's
raise it.
yeah, that's annoying. Hopefully, it's not going to cause any problems for you.
Let's hope not.
Jason's asking about how many kilowatts are the chargers you refer to. So there's so many different kinds, right, of
Yeah, you have
chargers
to check
around.
each one. You have to check each one.
What is the map system that you use to find out about all the chargers again?
And that one is EV.
EV Go or something?
Yeah, yeah. Let me pull it up and then I'll drop it in the YouTube chat.
Okay, great. All right, next question. I had a question about somebody asking, how often do you need to charge? So I've got a low range, a standard range, and I don't actually drive that much. So I only really need to charge up like once every 2 weeks. How often are you charging,
Oh
Scott?
shoot, I can't add it because I'm not logged in
If
proper
you
on.
No, if you send it to me via Skype, I can add it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I maybe once every 4 days, but then I'm only putting like 5% in.
Oh,
But
okay.
for the
You're
most
doing
part,
little
like,
short charging.
yeah, yeah. So for the
Is
most
that
part, it's
tactical? What are you doing that for?
it just if I get uncomfortable under 50%, so I'll go pop it back up over uh go ahead. That I dropped that in
Okay,
the
I
chat.
got it.
Um, yeah, I get uncomfortable if it drops for under 50% for too long. So I'll go hit a charge and then bring it back up to 70. That yeah, maybe once every 2 weeks, but I don't drive all that much. In the last year, I've only put about 6,000 kilometers on the car.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't check how many kilometers I've put on.
Yep. Yeah, I put about 6,000. So I mean, for the most part, it's just back and forth to work and stuff around the area. And so when I bought my car, I used your code so
Yeah.
that we both got 1,500 kilometers worth of roughly worth of free charging for Tesla. So that they kept extending it because of the COVID stuff,
Yep.
and it ended up expiring in June. And so I used the free stuff up until then. So between June and now, I've paid maybe 6,000 yen for supercharging.
Yeah. I've paid under 5,000 but I haven't used it that much, but whenever I do long trips, I do use it. So the navigation system is one of the things I really like about the car. And when you navigate to somewhere, it'll tell you how much charge you're going to have when you get there and how much charge you're going to get when you get back. And then
Yeah,
it'll
that's amazing.
suggest it'll suggest that you're not going to have enough charge. You need to drive very carefully under 80 kilometers an hour, or you need to stop off and it'll suggest another supercharger or charging station. So I find the navigation's pretty good that way.
Well, and that was one of those things. When we first got our car, they didn't know about chargers other than Tesla chargers. And then sometime in the spring, the thing came up and they started putting on non-Tesla chargers, and it's
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
that really helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I've got the address you sent right here,
Yep.
ev.gogo.gs.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's only in Japanese, right? But it shows you where
Only
all the chargers
Japanese.
is.
Yep. But I use it in Chrome when I'm on my desktop, and I use it to like plan stuff out. So I can use the auto inbuilt translation stuff, and it's not perfect, but it tells you the main things that you need to know.
Yeah, awesome. Fras says, a last question. How difficult was it to get a loan here in Japan? Well, not sure if you both went the loan path. I did, and I was just leaving a secure job, and the staff were pretty amazing. And they ended up having to go. You need a secure income, of course. You're doing alone. We ended up going through my husband. Thank you, hubby, who has a more secure job. Um, but it wasn't too much hassle, and the Tesla staff are really helpful for
Yeah,
that.
they really know what they're doing as far as it
Yeah.
goes. Because I went in and my plan was to buy the Standard Range Plus. They're like, "Do you have a house?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a house." They're like, "Cool, whatever car you want, you can have it, no problem." And I'm like, "No, no, no, you're wrong. They're not going to give me a loan for the $70,000 it'll take for me to get out of here." They're like, "No, but once you put 10% down on the car, then yeah, they will give you a loan." And the option on the website is only for 5 years. But if you are in and talking to them, you can get a 10-year loan. So it's not the best idea. Well, I mean, it's not a bad idea because I can pay the loan off early. But I got the 10-year version of it. And then so I'm only paying about $500 a month
Yeah.
for the car. And considering that I'm saving about $300 a month on gas, that means that, you know, makes it real reasonable
Yeah.
for the long range model.
Yeah. We didn't get the 10-year. So I used a chunk of my leaving money.
Mhm.
And it seems crazy because I don't have a secure income even now because of coronavirus. I don't have much work coming in.
Yeah.
But I have this great car and I don't have to pay for gas. And it actually the running cost is really low. So I'm pretty grateful.
Yep. Oh, Aussie in Japan just says you hit 501 subs. Congratulations.
Yay! Woo! That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. That's awesome.
So the loan is super easy to, well, not super easy to get, but pretty easy to get because they did all of my paperwork. They just said they took I gave them all of the information that they asked for in the car, driver's license, foreigner card, stuff like that. And then they did it all. It was awesome. I didn't have to touch it. They wrote it all out for me. I'm like, "Can you write my address for me because I nobody can read it when I write my address." And it was fine. And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Well, and the great thing about it is they don't get commissions on that. They are paid a wage, so they're not really
Wow.
pushing hard like a lot of
I
the
didn't
other.
know that. That's
Yeah,
cool. That's really
yep,
cool. Wash, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. Yes, congrats. Well, no house though. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good luck. Good luck with. I mean, it's worth applying.
Absolutely.
You can only get a no.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
apply. Just try.
Well, yeah, and they go through. They went through Jax for mine.
Yeah, me too.
My loan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They
So
they said we're gonna try a different bank, and then they obviously got a bad vibe, and they're like, no, we're gonna give up on that one. We're gonna try Jax.
yep.
But thank you, Jax, because Jax is also my payment for my solar panels.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it
That's
seems like a decent company. I hope. I'm appreciative.
I haven't been a pain yet. LKP is asking about the hats. Uh,
Yes, yes, we
so
are.
yeah, they just sent us a questionnaire that they wanted filled out and kind of a marketing thing. What should we do to make Tesla more visible in Japan? I gave them a whole list of stuff that I think they need to do, but I'm not in charge of the company.
Yeah.
Um, and as a thank you, they sent us a hat that has the Tesla written in embroider on it. You can kind of see it on mine a little bit, but
Yeah, it's subtle.
yep.
Um, my husband is like, "Are you gonna start wearing that around?" He's not impressed with my sporting all my Tesla talk. I love it. I love it. I love how it's not like in your face logo. It's nice and subtle. Let's talk about the trunk. The trunk is one
Oh,
of my favorite features.
awesome.
So you have an upper trunk, and then you have a secret trunk.
Yeah.
So there's a little louver, and you can put more stuff. I've done huge Costco shops, and it
Yeah.
all fits in there. It's a really decent sized trunk. I like it.
It's pretty big, and if it gets really bad, you can put the back seats down and get all of that space as well. And then yeah, that second floor in the back is pretty amazing. I use the front trunk constantly.
I
I use it
never
all
use
the
the
time.
front trunk. You know
It's
why?
time.
I'm scared of it. I'm scared of denting my front
Ah,
because you have to push and close it down, right?
you have to be very gentle with it. You grab the hook and you pull it down, and then it sits there,
I
and then
don't
you
trust
hold the
myself.
outside of it, and then you just push real gently, and it's no
No.
problem.
Uh-uh. So I don't use it. I just keep it just in case, you know.
The way mine works is it's a great place to keep the charging stuff if you're not going to use it regularly. The way my garage works, I can't open the trunk after I've parked in the back.
Oh.
So if I want to get groceries out easily without having to get them out before I back the car in, I put them in the front, and then that way I can get out and then raise the trunk, and yeah. But you do have to be really a little cautious about that front trunk because
Yeah.
that aluminum feels super flimsy.
Right? I'm scared of it. I'm scared of pushing on it. My son loves skateboarding and he loves skateboard videos, and they were like sliding across the fronts of cars, and I just looked at him and I've been like, never do that to my car. You will dent it like crazy. LKP, you're asking about, is it Tesla Solar? No, I don't think they sell Tesla Solar in Japan yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I have actually reserved, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I put in a reservation for the Powerwall,
Oh, did you?
which they did have in the Osaka dealership.
Yep.
And he said it's going to be another couple years. They're really slow getting the Powerwalls out.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of storing my solar energy in the Powerwall and then using it at night and like being kind of off grid, but you can't really be off grid in Japan.
Well, yeah, it takes a concentrated effort to get off grid in Japan.
Yeah.
It's got to be a real focus.
Yeah.
I want to get one just so that I can switch to the nighttime daytime electricity charges and then charge the battery at night and then use that battery in the day when the charges go up.
Yeah.
So without a solar system, because I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do a bunch of stuff to the house.
Yeah.
Uh, before
That's a good tactic. Fras says, haha, you both can upgrade to Cybertruck soon. Yeah,
I
Cybertruck. You know, I was talking to a guy who rents out vans that have beds in them the other day on the series. And he was saying, oh, we're going to get a Cybertruck. That would be an awesome, like, super deluxe suite inside your car.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to get one, but back to the conversation that we had, early in the summer. Um, that sucker's huge, and there's going to be a lot of places in Japan where you can't go with
Yeah.
with the standard full size U.S. Um, Cybertruck.
Yeah. I wonder.
It's bad.
Molly says, super trunk to hide all the junk foods you don't want your partner to see. Yeah. Hide
Yes.
all the snacks.
Yep.
Hokkaido Hillbilly, speaking of Powerwall, do Kansai Electric or Chugoku Electric have special demand response or V2H programs for EVs? I have no idea. Scott, you're the expert on this stuff.
Yes, they do, but it's still like early stages because the Leaf technically does it, but there sometimes they call it V2H, sometimes it V2G.
So
For
what we're
vehicle.
talking about is taking the power from the car and using it in the house, right? Vehicle to house, is that right?
Yep, vehicle to home. Yeah, and unfortunately, Elon said that he doesn't see the need for it. Well, in the U.S., there might not be that much of a need for it, but boy, it'd be a great selling point.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Automatically, I mean, because it's a 75 kilowatt hour battery down
Yeah,
below the house. That's big for a home battery. That's huge.
yeah,
Um, that could power my house easily for a week.
yeah. Hey, Hokkaido Hillbilly, is this you on Twitter? I dug this out from August, also asking about the vehicle to home on Twitter. I think that's the same guy. Is that you, Ben? Awesome. I just found that. Anything else that you would love to see from your Model 3? What would you love to see on offer? Anything?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Probably most of the stuff would be in the software aspect of it. So,
Yeah.
like when you're charging, I'd like to get Hulu onto the theater. That'd be
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to. It's just a licensing agreement. And some more options in the theater and the arcade would be great. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's that not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Um,
The Frass is asking about your YouTube channel. It
sure.
should be linked below, but we'll definitely add it after. Chilling Kansai and TeslaQuest Japan.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
will be getting back to making more videos on a more regular basis. The last year has been a little nuts.
Yeah. No problem. Do it whenever you can.
Yep.
I love about the theater is watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Sorry, when I'm at the coin laundry, when I'm waiting for the kids, or the kids waiting for me in the car and they can watch Netflix or YouTube. It's awesome. And you
Yeah.
don't need to be near a Wi-Fi zone. You can use it pretty much anywhere.
Yes, for now. So we're coming up on a year. Do you know when your date is?
Oh no. Is it going to
Yeah,
expire?
it's gonna expire, and so they're gonna start to charge you. There's a package you can pay
Ah,
for.
yeah.
That's a monthly thing. I forget off the top of my head what it costs. I want to say 1,500 yen, but you can also tether your phone to it. So if you have a good
That's true.
yeah, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna pay for it for after the first year. That package gives you the satellite view on the navigation, and it gives you automatic tie-in for the arcade for Netflix and stuff like that. Um, it's great, but I'm not gonna. I don't know if it's worth. I'm already paying for a bunch of other stuff, and I got 50 gigabytes download on my phone through SoftBank, so SoftBank can pay for it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's the
If you've got decent phone monthlies, you might as well use that. That makes sense.
exactly, exactly.
So what are the things that you like? What are the other features that you like? I like the heated seats. I'm a fan. The
Yep.
audio system seems really good.
Yes.
The trunk space, I said before. The phone app. I am a
Yes.
big fan of the phone app. You can start the heating on your car, or you can lock it, unlock it from a distance. You can turn on the AC 5 minutes before you're going to get there. I love. You can open the windows to vent out the hot air. I
Yep.
think that's a great app.
Yeah, the app is great. I'd like to see them add more to it, so and develop that a little bit more, so I can do it from my watch. And through the
Oh,
phone is
wow.
fine, but through my watch, that would be great, right?
That would be cool.
Right.
Yeah. And
Um,
another, I think my all-time best favorite thing, which I did not expect, is being at a stoplight next to a sports car
yeah.
and just dropping on them,
Uh,
and just taking off and then watching their face like,
yeah.
what?
My favorite is on the highway. You're both
Yeah.
going along, and that guy's in a Porsche, and you floor it, and he has trouble catching up. Now, in the long run, they will catch up, but in the short run, no problem.
Yeah. And I've seen
Sharing passengers is fun too.
recent EVs like the Polestar and
Yeah,
other EVs which are coming out abroad.
yeah,
They still can't keep up, even the other EVs. So the Tesla Model 3 is a very powerful, very fun drive.
yeah. I enjoy scaring passengers. It's fun. And so when Taki TV and I went out for the drive, um, I said, well, how fast is it really? And he's like, I put it about halfway down. He's like, oh yeah, that's about what the Honda E is acceleration is like. And I'm like, that's only halfway. Just wait. So we went down to the highway, and I floored it for the length of the ramp. I'm not going to tell you what the final number was because I'm usually too scared to look, but this time I remembered and I know what the number was. I'll tell you offline, but I
Oh.
won't do it online because
Yeah,
just
no, you have to be careful because it's easy to speed.
yeah,
Now, let's talk about things you don't like because I don't like it when I'm driving the highway and they have all those safety alerts that keep coming at you. And usually it's just about traffic or some like exit that has construction or something. I would like to turn that off, or at least turn it down, because
Yeah.
it's really loud. That's one thing I don't like.
Through the through the ETC thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Yeah, it's super loud and it's coming right through the speakers. So yeah, it's a little.
Yeah. If you could at least turn it down, that would be helpful.
Exactly.
Hokkaido Hillbilly says, has either of you guys used insane or plaid mode? How about autopilot? I use autopilot a little bit when I'm on the open road, like the highways, but
Mhm.
you said you use it when you're in traffic. Is that
I
right?
use it all the time. Yeah. Even on local streets. With local streets, you have to pay attention. If there's people on the side of the road, you don't want to use it just in case the car freaks out. But for the most part, locals, even the small local streets, for the most part, it does a great job. You pay attention to it, but the autopilot, particularly when there's a lot of traffic, forget about it. It's absolutely the best way to go because
And
it will automatically stop. It will not hit the car in front of you.
that's awesome. Um, and auto parking, I've never tried that. I don't think we can do it in Japan, right?
No, well, it you have to have the full self-driving package, and I didn't pay for that.
I didn't.
Um,
I
and
didn't
I
either.
don't know if it's out yet. I saw something on Twitter. Somebody from Japan asked Elon about full self-driving in Japan, and he said it's coming. And I'm like, oh, so you wanted me to pay $8,000, and it's not. I can't even use part of it because that smart summon to be able to pull my car out of my garage without me being in the car would be fantastic. I would love that.
Yeah,
But
you
if
can't
that,
do that.
yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
because when you're going in and out of really tight parking spaces, which often happens in the States and in Japan, it would be so convenient to be able to get out the car and have the car just pull in by itself and not have to bang the other cars when you're getting out, right?
yeah,
That would be a great, very useful feature, but I don't think it's in Japan, yeah?
yep, yeah. Only Kimitaka can do that. Um, for the insane plaid, that is only on the Model S and Model X. The Y and the 3 don't have those because you have to have the bigger batteries and the bigger engine drives, motors for it.
What
Um,
what is it? Just like super fast?
yeah, yeah. So as
It's
when
fast enough, man.
yeah, well, exactly. And so ours, we can get ours down to about 4.2 from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. So the plaid will do 2.9. So that's half the time, about almost half the time. Yeah, so it'd be almost twice as fast. And nah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kimitaku, I am excited to see what the Nissan Aria is going to look like. It the shape of the car, that's fine, but I want to know how much is it going to cost and how are they going to market it, because it looks like it could be a really great car. However, I'm based on what Honda did with that Honda it's going to be overpriced, and if you're going to spend that much money, you might as well get the Tesla because it's going to have better software and better efficiency. It's just going to I want to see it, but I'm scared that it's going to be not worth it.
So I don't know about the Kimitaku. Is this Toyota?
No, it's Nissan.
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah,
it Kimitaku is doing the ads?
he's doing the ad for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
makes it, and the ad is like super like luxury, high end. He's wearing the suit and the whole shot.
Well,
And
I'm going to talk to Kevin, I think next week. Yeah, on the 22nd. He's got a EV Jaguar. So I'm going
ooh,
to learn all about that.
yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I'm really excited to talk to him. So check in again on the 22nd, 9 a.m. with Kevin Meyerson. LKP said, last I checked with Tesla, JP, no auto park or summon approved by regulators here yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna take time. They need to give us a discount when it finally does become available because they keep raising the price of autopilot and you can't use it. So
Hokkaido Hillbilly says Nissan's dropping Chademo for the Aria
uh,
area, maybe outside of Japan as well.
yeah.
Oh, Chademo is used outside Japan.
Yeah, it's well, was basically Europe said no, CCS is better, and then the US said, oh yeah, it's better. Let's use that. So the U.S. has basically gone to CCS. Europe's
Oh,
basically always been CCS, and Japan is going to be stuck with CHAdeMO forever because it's a Japanese developed technology. And there's supposed to be CHAdeMO 2.0 that is giving the same kind of rates, like 100 and 200 kilowatts for the charging. And yeah, they've been talking about that for a while, and they're not doing it. And
yeah.
so they need to either CHAdeMO needs to either give up or step up, one of the two. And I got
So,
that off for it. Step up.
so what do you think about the latest news that Tesla is going to offer a $25,000 version?
I would buy one in a heartbeat.
You
I
think
don't that
it'll
car.
happen? It's supposed to happen next year, right?
I don't think it'll happen next year.
Yeah.
They might announce it next year, but it'll be like a little bit like the truck and the Roadster.
Well, they have a new factory in China. I mean, things could move faster, right?
Could could, but from what I've seen, it's not, well. There's no public references for it right now. There's been a couple of drawings and stuff like that, but it would be great if they put it together, because that is really what Tesla needs in Japan to really take off. Is a $25,000 car would be fantastic here, particularly if there's enough space to put four people and then some groceries in the back, smaller than the Model 3. If
Yeah.
they could hit that compact, subcompact, Honda's got the right idea and got the wrong price.
Yep. Yeah. I like the look of the Honda, and I was hoping it would be a lot cheaper
Yeah.
to tap into the just around home kind of market, someone that doesn't drive a lot. Because that's perfect for electric cars like that aren't very powerful. That's all you need.
Absolutely. It's a great car, and it would be an amazing car at $30,000. And then
Yeah.
they priced it at 45 and 50.
Yeah. It's tough, but even then, I think it's still good value. It's going to be my car for at least 10 years. I'm not planning on getting another car. I'm going to really make up any kind of cost loss in that time for sure. So as long as I don't wreck it, I should
Right,
be
right.
fine.
That's the only fear. Somebody, pulling out in front of you or pulling out into you or something like that.
Yeah.
Man, I will have a hard time keeping myself from being unpleasant
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
somebody hits my car.
Because if you have a bad accident and you have to take it back to a Tesla dealer, and I don't know what the repair costs are going to be like, they would be crazy, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I
Well,
have insurance. Of course, I
I
have
have
insurance,
insurance.
but
Yeah, I'll have the insurance, and I will fight the insurance tooth and nail for everything. But
yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's for the last few minutes, let's talk about some funny comments and questions you've had over the years. A recent one I had, which really flabbergasted me, was somebody said, "Oh, new car, cool. Is it a Prius?"
Yeah. That's a good one.
And
That's
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Does it look like a Prius? No."
Yeah, my favorite is, yeah, let's get in the car, we'll go for a ride, and yep, this is a Tesla, it's a Model 3, it's an electric car, and da 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 da. And then after talking about how it's an electric car for half an hour, they're like, so where do you put the gas?
Yeah.
Uh,
Electric cars like Tesla and hybrids are not the same. They are different. Get
Yep,
that in your head.
yep. My neighbors every once in a while will complain about the backup noise.
Oh, really?
Like, not like complain.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it sounds like there's ghosts out here all the time.
My 88-year-old neighbor, she
Mm.
came over the other day and she said, "I love how your car sounds like the future." And I was like, "That's really cool." And
That's
then she imitated the noise. She's like, "Wee, wee." She's adorable. I love her. So she gets it. It is the car of the future.
It is. It is. And it's well built. I mean, the Model Y stuff, I'll be interested to see what happens when Model Y comes here and how they're going to do it, where they're going to bring it in from China. And the problem with bringing it in from China is there's a huge backlash against Chinese products in Japan. And I'm like, but that's the closest one. The shipping is super cheap. Do that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it'll be interesting. I mean, maybe we'll get the German one. I don't know. The German one could be really cool because of the putting some new production stuff together for that. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Y and
Yeah.
which version of it gets here.
Well, my son is turning 18. He's almost finished with high school. I'm teaching him how to drive. His first car is going to be an electric, and I love it. It's so cool that he's
Viable.
driving the future.
It's a viable technology now, whereas when I was 18, probably you as well. That was not really a viable thing. I mean,
No.
it was even before the EV1.
It was
The
only golf carts that were electric, right?
Yeah, and those were all lead acid batteries, which is not great. Uh, and yeah, so it's amazing that you can have a car like that that looks good, it's powerful, and it's well built. I mean, I know that there are some people that get the lemons, but Tesla's only 10, 12-year-old car company. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Because when Ford was making cars for 10 or 12 years, it was still like Model T stuff.
And
you know?
and it always impressed me how Tesla's all in with electric. They don't do gas cars. They only do electric. So from the beginning, that really impressed me, and I was very interested in the company. Molly says, I have a smart car that I got used when I was 18, but I grew 4 more inches, so my head scrapes the ceiling of it. I need to think about buying another electric or hybrid. I would definitely go electric if you can.
If you can, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And um, I know it seems like but Teslas are expensive. It, you have to do the calculations. How much are you spending on gas? How much are you spending on insurance? And how much are you driving? And then you can really get a good look at it because at first blush, it is an expensive looking car. But for me, it's way cheaper than if I would have replaced my old Subaru with another one.
Yeah.
The initial upfront price would have been super cheap, but the long term costs with the gas is starting to go back up. I saw it was what 144 or something today. So forget it. Over the long term, and that's how you have to think about it.
And in terms of sustainability, gas is cheap, but it's very expensive in terms of its cost on people and planet. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was awesome talk. It's been an hour. That went super fast.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Such great questions. Have a great weekend and take care with the typhoon coming if you're in Japan. And we'll be back next week. We got a full week of talks next week. So join us again next week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.